And welcome back to Sullivan's Backstage Pass. I'm here with my friend Saran. Saran, thank you for being with me again today.
Thank you, Sean. Hey, I'm glad to be back. It's
What a
been a while.
road it has been, my friend.
Right, right.
Right? Like, like I remember when we first encountered, uh, when I first spoke to you, and just between then and now, and the evolution of the Mekong River Band,
Yes.
and just like what a spectacular, joyous day for me to be like a fly on the wall and watch you celebrate your album release party.
Well,
Like, how does it feel to like be like you're almost ready to take stage and announce to the world your album?
well, I would be lying if I say I'm not. I'm nervous, but I am a little bit nervous. But you know what? I'm going to be surrounded by the people that supported me all these years, and so I feel good about that. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. You know, I heard my cousins, my families are going to be here to join the celebration. So that's even make it even more better than I expected. So I'm excited. Yeah. Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful. So I do want to take it back to the beginning though, right? And what I mean by the beginning is if you think back, like what prompted you to start the Mekong River Band to begin with?
Yeah. Man, so I've always been, part of a business in the music industry, right? I came here when I was young, and right off the airplane, my cousin started a band. They were here in 1976, 77, and so by 1981 they started a band, and that's when I came to United States. And I was part of a family that was very involved with music. And then as we grow older, we have our own lives and family, and so the music scene has been was gone for a while for me. So um, mm, until I decided to build my own stage and have my own restaurant. And then I started to get back into the music thing. And then with just me wanting to be involved with music and the artists in around the Portland area. And then once seen people perform here at Mekong Bistro, I was inspired to start my own band. And that's how it came about, just wanting to have my own band so I can sing.
And I'm curious about that piece, right? So when you first started the Mekong River Band, was the idea to always create your own music? Or was that something that came along the way?
No. So originally the band was, is a multicultural band, but was a cover band, right? Where, I having my own music was not part of the plan. I, I didn't know. I'm not an artist, so I don't know much about music and writing songs and things like that. But I just love music and I love singing. So. So the first initial band, like I would say, Mekong River Band 1.0, right? Yeah. That was fun. We have a lot of talented artists that were part of the band, and then some of them, moved on, and so I guess Mekong 2.0. Mekong River Band 2.0 was when Catherine and Zach came along, and they were the one that inspired me and pushed me to, writing my own song. And then Catherine, thanks to Catherine Grimm, she helped me wrote the first song, "Anything Is Possible," and from there, I was I thought, hey, this is awesome storytelling, put it into music. And so I started writing songs. And then here we are, like a year and a half later, I well, I'm gonna be introducing 15 of my original songs. Uh, it's crazy.
And it's an epic journey, right? And full disclosure, people, like Saran was the first musician to approach me about using Anything Is Possible as my intro music. And so I just wanted to say, like, here and now, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very appropriate. The first few lines of the song really tie in well to kind of what the podcast is all about, and it's an honor and a privilege for that to be the opening credits to Sullivan's Unheard Voices. And so, how did the idea or concept of Anything Possible come originally?
Well, the idea and the concept of it is based on my relationship with my wife. When we got together, we didn't know each other, and then but our story, we relate to, to the song based on, where we came from. And if you knew me before, now, you wouldn't even know who I am. You wouldn't even recognize me. But here we are. We're inseparable.
And then one of the things that I'm curious about is when that song came to you, if you will, did it come as music first, or did you write the lyrics and then create music to sort of engage with the music?
Yeah, so I had to thank Catherine for that. She's the one that composed the whole thing. I tell her the story. I told her the story. I gave her the story, and she put it all together. And then we went to, I went to her not garage, but the not the attic. What was the basement?
Yeah.
Catherine's basement. And she said, Saran, I have the song here. Let's listen to it and let's do it. And then we did a couple practice with the drummer there, and we got the beats down and the harmonies down, and then the rest is history. Anything is possible. A couple months later, we went to the studio and recorded it. Yeah.
And then after you record that, then you record your next one.
Yes.
Which was?
So I recorded the next one was Captured.
Yeah.
And for a lot of these songs, they're all about women and love, and
which I totally respect.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the song, like all the songs that I've written, or most of the songs that I've written, it's about love, it's about compassion, it's about who we are as a human being. That it's how we feel at the moment. And so that's mainly the theme of my songs, of my music.
Which I must say, from knowing you now as long as I have, that's you to a T. Compassion and love. Every time I come here, you can feel it in the walls that this place was built on compassion and love.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything from your meal giveaway to Operation J, everything that you got going on is for the betterment of the community. And I don't think a lot of people appreciate or respect that as much as they should, because your impact on the community will be long lasting. And what a way to cap that off with an album that's sort of dedicated to that message. Like, of course it would have to be that way. Right?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate for you to recognize that. It's for me, the Anything Is Possible, from the Killing Fields to the Atlanta of Opportunity, I've lived through it all. So for me to be here doing what I'm doing, it's basically it's an honor, it's a privilege, and I can only do what I can by giving back, to the community. And I'm hoping that, like you mentioned, the meal giveaway, like I lived through hunger, and I never I never thought that I could feed somebody, I could help somebody. And so now that I have the opportunity to do so, I'm more than willing, you know. I hate to see people hungry, go hungry. You know, if they come to me and ask me for food, definitely, you know, I don't care who you are, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a blessing that I'm here, and that's why I want to give back as much as I can.
And then kind of circling back to the music piece, right? Because I'm curious, because one of the things that I love about you is you have this venue that was built for musicians in mind.
Hmm.
From a musician's perspective, how much does that take away from your stress to know that your stage is going to work when you get on that stage and perform?
Oh, it's a lot less stressful than anything, you know, because like I said, I grew up with family of bands that goes out and you do tour and stuff like that, and traveling, and you know they don't always get to play in the garage, and so they have to go and load up and unload and you know set up, and that takes time, and people don't realize how hard that is, how difficult that is, unless you're a band member and that does that stuff all the time, right? And so when I built this place, I want to make sure that these artists will have their energy performing instead of putting all their energies in setting up and taking down, you know. So I try to make it as easy as possible for the artists that comes to play here, and I got a lot of good feedback on that, where they appreciate that. So
Because I have seen, like, personally, a few just in the Portland area, with a few venues that don't understand what you understand.
mhm.
And what you understand is that there is a partnership between the musician and the venue.
Yeah,
Without a venue, there is no musician.
right,
Without a musician, there is no venue.
right,
And so really it's like whatever you can do to help musicians makes your venue sound better,
yeah,
which then makes everybody's like, it's this effect that keeps
right.
going and going.
Right. Yeah. No, we have to work together, and that's the things like, yeah, you know, artists are really really good at what they do. Uh and so I want to provide a place for them to showcase their talent, their skill. And I try to provide the best equipment, sound, a stage, so they can sound and look good, you know, and feel good. So yeah.
But then in terms of your piece, though, right, as a musician that gets up there, as you're looking out at the audience, what are some of the things you're looking for that lets you know the audience is enjoying themselves?
Yeah. Well, the one thing, the first thing is, how's the sound, right? If people are agitated because it's too loud, or it's just not loud enough, or you got to that's how look at the audience first, and then is the place comfortable as far as the capacity, yeah, and then are they having fun? Is there, there's a dance floor? Are they up on a dance floor dancing? And that's the things that that bring the whole music scene together, right? You got to have sound, you got to have the place, the comfort, and also you got the space for people to like dance, to enjoy themselves, right? And so that's how I that's how I think when I built this place. My mindset was, okay, how can I get the people to come here to enjoy it, and to celebrate, and just feel like they're at home, but have a good value to it, So
And I'm curious about a couple of things, right? Because you have quite the large ensemble. Was the idea to always have that many musicians in the band, or did that just happen organically?
I always try to, I calculate a lot. I do a lot of calculation, and when I do things, just like the stage and the dance floor, I always trying to see, okay, what would be good for, like, what? How can I maximize the space, right? And so, uh, when I built this stage, it was that for that purpose. Okay, so there's more than just four people playing in a band, right? I have to think, okay, some bands might have 12 pieces, some band might have four or three. So I have to think of how I can maximize that, right? Making sure like when they come up here to play, when they have a 12-piece band come up to here to play, they have enough room,
Yeah.
right? They don't feel crowded. And then they would like, man, that was a great stage and I want to come back and play again, right? And so that's how I see it. And then the dance floor as well as too, like, yeah, I have one of the biggest dance floor in Portland, just because I see it, when there's 100 people sitting down and when the music start, maybe 50 people will come up and dance. I don't know. So I want to maximize that space.
I've seen as much as 100 cram on this dance floor
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a sight to see. And then the other piece I'm curious about, because you have some amazing singers that are up there on stage with you.
Yes.
So how did you come about to finding Louis Roa,
Yeah.
of all people?
Like I've been blessed. Like I said, my life has been blessed with good fortune. And Louis, he's the first day we got to know, we met, and we felt like we were brother for forever. Like from the first day, the very first day, hey, we met each other, and I'm like, man, bro, are you my brother, my long lost brother? And so we connected right away, and he just happened to be one of the nicest guy, and one of the best vocalists that I known, and so I kind of like, I'm using him for myself. I'm saying like, yeah, that's my buddy Louis. He's a singer. I name drop. Yeah,
I love that. And then how about Sophie?
Oh, Sophie, she comes along. She came a long way. She always had that vocal. For a little girl, or a little woman, a little lady, she can sing, but her problem is that she's not confident enough in herself. I'm trying to like kick her, like Sophie, come on, you. I've been trying to tell her this for a very long time. It's like, oh, bro, I know, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Okay. Okay, I'm being patient right now, but I'm gonna lose my patience soon here. So yeah, but I've known Sophie for several years, about 5-6 years now. Actually, maybe more longer than that. She's a local here. She's comes up here to sing once in a while with a Vietnamese band, and that's when I noticed her, and I talked to her, and I keep encouraging her to keep singing, and telling her that she's one of the best vocalists that I've heard, but she still need to get more push from everybody else. I don't know what to do next with her.
I think time is the
Time,
only thing.
yeah.
Time on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So then, as you were recording this album, like, what was the approach you took to record the whole album? Did you like put everybody in a studio, or did everybody play their parts separately? And then,
Yeah. So, initially we were supposed to do, like go to the studio together and do it, but like Here we're busy. Life is busy. Everybody's having, their day job, and it's just there's no way for us to do the entire album with everybody there at the same time.
Yeah.
There's no way, right? Unless we're like a band that just dedicate our lives to music. There's no way that we can do that. So I decided that I'm just gonna go and record it solo, and then the band will jump in, and yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, like, I always knew how the music life, music scene, the music industry is not easy, but I never realized how hard it is, and to be a part of it now, I can tell you that it's worth every penny that people comes to see, goes to see these artists perform, because they put a lot of time and effort into it, so.
And the flip side too, right? Because one of the things that I keep telling people is, for every time you spend $600 on a ticket on a national act, 80% of that money goes to Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go to the artist, and it doesn't stay in the community.
Right.
For every local show that you see that supports your local venue,
Yeah.
every dollar stays in the community.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a better sounding show.
Yeah.
Because the larger the audience, you have to sacrifice sound quality.
Yeah.
And so in a place like this, you can come and that there is money involved, or money invested in the sound quality.
Mm-hmm.
And so come to a place like this and enjoy your local music, folks.
Yeah.
It is so needed.
Yeah. I mean, man, it is just so hard for artists and musicians to make a living nowadays. I mean, like, $10, it's like, oh man, that's too much. That's cover charge. That's too much. Come on, you don't know how much time they put into making that one song, or that, rehearsing and practicing that one song just to make it sound good for everybody to enjoy it, So for $10, $20, you got to appreciate more than the value of that money. It's more than just the dollar. People, artists, they spend so much, not just money, but so much their time and their life and their skill and their talent. $20 is 3 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
So,
especially for those people that are spending $250 on alcohol anyway.
Yeah.
And not to throw an additional $10 towards the music that you're there to enjoy. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Same with tipping the band, folks.
Yes.
$1 or $2, even if it's like $2 for 50 people that are there, that's a lot, because you know what? Setup usually isn't concluded.
Yeah.
Like all the practice time, you don't get paid for that.
No.
All the travel time, all the setup, like you don't get paid for that.
Right.
So like, just come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Just a little bit.
Yep.
That's my soapbox for the episode, folks.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, unless you like, for me, I get it. I get it, because I get to witness it every week, every day, every week, every month, because we have bands that come to play here, and sometimes we get, nobody show up to watch them. And because you're putting a cover charge $5. Really? Come on. But anyway, hopefully that will change. I think that the more we help promote it, the more we try to educate people and bring lights to the industry, how hard it is, I think people will have a better understanding and appreciate it more.
I think so too. And also, the more we can get the word out that music actually exists.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, like, you have a lot of bands that have millions and millions and millions of dollars that they can spell on advertising
Mm-hmm.
every show.
Mm-hmm.
But this local bands, like, I wish there was like a central place outside of a couple of Facebook groups
Yeah.
where you could just go and see who's playing everywhere every
Yeah.
weekend. Because I think that would help so much, because there's so many bands and so many options that sometimes it's hard to choose.
Yeah. No, it's so true. You know, it's sad, but we're living in a world where money talks. You know, if you have the money, the ability to pay for advertisement, you know, to promote, then you might do well. You might do well, but if you don't, then you're relying on word of mouth, and hopefully that somebody will hear it and show up, and that's kind of, it's hard. It's really hard. And I feel like money can ruin us sometime.
Yeah.
When fortunately, we have social media where we can help promote in a certain way. But like, if you want your song, there's a lot of great songs out there that are not on mainstream, and it should be, but because they don't have the money to get it to the radio stations or get it to the television, then it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you almost need like to buy $1 million.
Yeah.
You need to buy 1 million views at $1 a view in
Mhm.
order for you to be taken seriously.
Exactly.
And not everybody has that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now, so circling back to the music real quick, because I'm curious about this piece too. Because one of the things I appreciate about seeing the Mekong River Band is just how well you sort of orchestrate behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Did you sort of learn that naturally, or did you have to practice that communication while you're on stage?
Actually, I never have to practice. I just do it. And sometimes I piss people off, and most of the time I don't, right? But I try to be, because I know my place. I know that I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist. I told them right away, like, I don't know anything about music, but what I do know is I love music, and I can help manage in a certain way, but I am going to need you guys' help, and that's how I approach it. And it seemed to be working so far. Everybody's enjoying doing what they're doing, and everybody's having fun, and that's what we're all about. It's just having fun. Yeah. I mean, there's some artists that like didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who's he? Like, why am I here?
You have always been humble. You've always been humble. But and then in terms of like the piece on stage for tonight, do you have like a set list?
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yes. So we have for the first part of the Mekong River Band show tonight is going to be my 15 original songs. So it's just going to be me singing while the other folks are going to be harmonizing with me for me tonight. And then the second set will be everybody's going to jamming and partying, and we're going to be rocking tonight. Yeah.
I can't wait. This is going to be epic.
Yeah.
This is going to be epic. And like, so with the other question that I have in terms of like getting up on stage and performing, do you ever have like the pre-show jitters? Like, are you ever nervous to get on stage and sing?
Yes. To answer that question, yes. I get stage fright back, when I was younger, and but as I grew older, I became more what do you say? Have more courage, have more confidence in myself, and so I don't get as nervous like I used to be. I get still a little nervousness in me before I go up on a stage, but I learn to control myself and have a better understanding that I'm gonna be performing, not the audience. I'm to be the one that is gonna be uh, doing the show. Yeah, so that's how I see myself, and then that's how I got to be better at being on stage. So yeah.
And then one of the things I'm curious about too is as you're sort of like performing, uh, what do you do? So if you're looking out in the crowd,
hmm
like what are some of the things you're looking for
Yeah.
from an audience?
Yeah. So if it's so for me, if it's like a fast moving song, I would in between verses and stuff like that, I would talk to the audience. I would encourage them to come up and dance, to be a part of the show, and I would look and see how they are. If they look bored, then I would interact with them, like engage with them, and my goal is to make people happy and enjoy. If they don't, then I have to do something, right? And I've been told that that is one of my strengths, is to engage with the audience. So yeah. Should we pause and have Dario come here and
come
join
on
us?
in. And we're back. We're joined now by Dario. Dario, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I just like fly. I'm like,
So we're talking to Saran and Dario about their performance tonight, and I'm curious about something, Saran, because something you told me the other day that was very profound. You're intentional about wanting a diverse band.
Mhm.
Why is that important to you?
It's very important to me because we are living in the very diverse country, right? America is the capital country, a diverse country in the world. I mean, you can go anywhere, but not like America. So I want us to feel like we're not, I'm not Asian, you're white. I don't want us to feel like that. I want us to feel like we're brother, human. Yeah, we're American. And so having this band, Dario, we have Ben Rice joining us. We have Zach, and then we have Bon and John and Sophie. It's just a multicultural band, and that's my main goal, is to bring everybody together, a different community, but we're all one human being. Yeah.
And where to express better than through the food and music.
Exactly. Food and music is the best way.
And we have combination of both.
Yeah.
Amazing food, good music.
Yes.
So how did you come to be aware of the Mekong River Band?
Long story short, we are very similar in bunch of ways. I am from Bosnia. He's Asian, I'm European, but we are very similar. We like to promote our culture we love diversity too. And I come here to Cicero like a few years ago.
Mhm.
Actually, I've been coming here.
No, it's a long time.
years,
Yeah.
But now I was planning to do some like world music concert. And then who else to first come to my mind than Saran? And hopefully we will do this in October here.
Yes.
And then we play music, and I heard about his diversity, and I think that's what we are all about.
Yeah. So a month ago, right? maybe a month and a half
Something
ago.
like that.
Yeah, you came by and wanted to talk about world music or and doing a show here, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I said, Dario, I'm having a show July 18th. You want to join my band and my show? I was like, yeah, let's go. So yeah, I've known Dario for like since 2014,
Wow.
2012,
Wow.
2013,
Something
yeah,
like this,
2014, yeah. A long time ago.
Long
Yeah,
and amazing story. It's
yeah,
like hard to put it in a
yeah,
short time.
yeah. So he owns a cafe down on Division, Marino
Adriatic Cafe.
Cafe, yeah. And so delicious cafe. I love,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
And so we've been friends ever since, and
They say I'm small, so
I love it.
Ron is big and I'm small.
So how long have you been playing music?
All my life. I should be 10 times better, but all my life. But music, saved my life a few times, and I love it. And music is the easiest way to meet people, and share, your feelings, emotion, and everything.
yeah, yeah.
What instrument did you start on?
Guitar. I worked with refugees for 15 years, in Croatia 4 years, and then here 10, 11 years. And then one day I made some music project for refugees here, and then I thought finally open coffee shop where people come and still enjoy this diversity. And then music is just easy way to connect everything.
Yeah.
So then as you all are playing on stage tonight, how do you keep yourselves from being overly emotional? This is a big moment.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan in place to calm your nerves, especially for tonight?
I'm going to laugh a lot. Yeah, I'm going to laugh a lot to calm my nerve. I think that's the way for me to do it, to deal with it,
But also when it's goal, good things, good deed, then it's easy.
Yeah.
When you think about money and then you are or when you think something good you're giving, then don't take it much.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think so. It's so natural. It's so good.
Yeah, like I said, I just understand that the people that are here, they're here for a reason, and they're here to support me. So there's nothing for me to be nervous about. I'm pretty sure I know everyone that's gonna come here tonight. So that's how I see it. That's how I handle myself. It's like I've known these people. Why do I need to be nervous?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love
one
everything.
big family.
Yeah.
I love everything about that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of preparation, have you guys been practicing a lot lately?
Actually, to be honest with you, no. We done 3 sessions of practice, 4 sessions.
Just
Yeah.
3 or 4, 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We pause for 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that now.
Yeah. Can you tell them to turn down the music over there? Turn it off.
I don't want to violate any copyright laws.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to think about everything.
They've been giving people strikes and taking them off the air now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mhm. Even for cover bands, it's the worst ever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, back to our conversation. And we're back. Technical problems. Gotta love it. And so, the band in its current form, right? I love that you incorporate all of these different aspects. Was the intention to have a keyboardist and somebody on set? How much intention went into all of the pieces and instruments that you're using right now?
It's very intentional. It's very intentional. I wanted to have as many different instrumental up there as possible. I'm trying, when I hear a sax player and I oh man, would you like to play? I would ask them, hey, would you like to join? Most of them say, I'm not ready, you know. So, but I really do want to have everybody up there, you know, if they want to. And that's the one thing about Mekong River Band is like we're not picky. We're not picky, you know. We just want people to enjoy. If you enjoy playing, enjoy music, then if you want to be part of it,
Why not?
why not?
We got viola player in
Yeah.
last practice.
Yeah, I know.
He
He came.
practiced only 1 hour, and tonight he will be playing.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun, you know. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like music. It's just here a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, you add it all together and it makes beautiful sound.
But when
Yeah.
it comes from the heart, it's easy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And take me through, like, because one of the things I also appreciate, especially about the Mekong Bistro, is it doesn't matter who you are, what religion you are, what background you are welcome at this place.
Yeah.
Like, how important is it for you as somebody who owns a venue, but also a part of the music, that everybody who comes through your door feels welcome?
Well, it's very important. I think that's the main goal for me is to have everybody to come here and feel like they're at home. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the place, enjoy the atmosphere, and without feeling like, oh man, am I in the right spot? You know, I don't want that. I don't want that. So you always see me sit right there in the corner and there, and then whoever comes in, I'm the first one to say hello, you know, welcome, you know. And that's actually is really, I feel it really effective to welcome people. Because when I'm there and the first one to talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, you know, even though, like, say for example, they're black or they're Asian or they're white, they come in here, they don't feel like that. Once the first word, hello, and they're like, oh yes, you know, I'm in the right place. So
Yeah.
so it's very important for me. Yeah.
And how does that make you feel hearing that from the band leader?
Oh, he's so welcoming, and I'm happy, you know, that we're the same.
Yeah.
I do this in my cafe, just little things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just little things we want to expand this, you know.
And I appreciate that it's always been that way with you, right? Because I remember when you and I first had that interview, I think I had all of 3 listeners.
Yes.
And where most people at that time were big dogging me and telling me, no, you're too small. No, no, no.
Mhm.
You were one of the first restaurant owners with your story and your background to say yes. And for this autistic dude, that meant so much, because I'm so used to the whole, no, you don't belong here. You
Mhm.
look a little different, like
Mhm.
all of that aspect. And so that whole idea of that first interview with you was so inspiring for a few reasons. One, I couldn't believe you said yes. And 2, you have such a wonderful story that sort of goes along with it. And so I want you to recognize that from my perspective, I have always felt welcome in this environment. It's not common
Mhm.
in a lot of spaces, but I know if I come to Mekong, things are going to be okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's a community place. It's a community hub. I even wrote a song about that. But you know, that's how I see it, how I envision it to be from the very beginning. It's like when you come in here, I want you to feel like you're at home, and you know, my mom would come out and give you a hug and say hello, you know. She just never shy of doing that. And if you have never been to Mekong Bistro, you know, come by and you'll experience it. But if you have been here, then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that I sort of learned along the way is that you have this grand plan to go out and do a concert on the Mekong River Delta.
Yes.
Like, I am so geeked that you're going to be able to do that soon. How did that sort of idea come to be?
Again, I mean, just I have crazy dreams. I'm like my mind is always thinking about crazy stuff like that, but then when I bring it up to the team or to the people, and they're like, wow, that's so awesome, let's do it. And I'm like, wait,
what?
You agreeing with me? No way. No, I always want to share, um with the people where I came from, and I want people to know, like, to see and experience the place where I came from, the good part, like Cambodia. I mean, there's a the only a lot of people know about Cambodia because of the genocide, right? They don't know much about the good part about Cambodia. And so I want to change that. I want people to know the good side of Cambodia and not the dark side of Cambodia. And so my vision to have a Mekong River tour is to showcase, to whoever want to be a part of it. You want to go, you don't have to be a member of the band. You can tag along, and we welcome you to be there, to go with us, and I will gladly show you the best part of Southeast Asia. And so that's my vision, and that was my goal. And I brought it up with the band, and they're like, yeah, let's go. Oh, really? Yeah. But, just like everything else, you need money to make it happen. And so that's why we're doing shows, just to fundraise some money, and hopefully we'll have enough to buy some plane ticket and for our band to go. Yeah.
And talk about sort of like a life-changing experience for people as well on both sides, right? What I mean by that is if you have such a diverse band, the ability for a lot of people to celebrate and be a part of that culture, because I don't know if anybody knows that the Cambodian culture is a beautiful culture based on family and love.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't been, or even just been witness to the Cambodian culture, you all are missing out, because that's just a lot of, you're absolutely right. Like, we get stuck in these things where we have this narrow view of what something is versus what it really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I like the idea of you're taking your band there,
Mm-hmm.
because you're also, in a way, showing people in Cambodia,
Oh, yeah.
people from America also know love.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it's kind of all the way around.
Yeah. And so, to continue what you just said, like, I want, like, my family, my friend, my countrymen in Southeast Asia to see, like, hey, I'm back. I left, but I'm not gone. I'm back. I'm here. I want to be with you guys. I want to show you guys that, I haven't forgotten, and that's the main reason. And I'm bringing my friends, I'm bringing my friends to celebrate with you guys,
It means for me chance to see Asia.
Yeah. And I promise you, I will be your tour guide, your best tour guide, personal tour guide. Anybody who wants to join, all right, well, you're welcome to do so, but you have to pay your own way, though.
Right. That's the important piece, right?
You have to pay your own way. I'm just gonna be the tour guide. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
And then something else that I'm curious from a venue's perspective, like when you're helping somebody who's getting ready to perform,
Mhm.
how important is it to pay attention to volume
Oh,
when you're putting on a show?
it's very important. Yeah. I got to be, again, blessed to do what I do right now, as a person that know nothing about music. I'm singing, I'm performing, and I'm watching people perform, and doing things like that. And then throughout the years, I've learned how to do sound, controlling the music, the volume, when it's necessary, making sure that everybody's enjoy it, not just the the band, you know. So like I take pride in making sure that this place is in good hand. And by what I mean is, like, if there's a need for me to adjust certain things, I will adjust it so everybody can enjoy it. And and that's, to me, is very valuable. Yeah.
How about from your perspective as a guitarist? How
Like,
important is volume?
of course, people, especially in this time when everybody is so busy, when everybody has million things to do, usually people say later, oh, I wish I did this, or something. And of course, it's important that more people see Saron's story is amazing, from like Killing Field of Cambodia to come to Portland and to do what he do. It's so important, so beautiful, and for everybody to see that anything is possible. And
Yeah.
I would be happy that so many people, have opportunity to hear and see this, and I will help this spread.
But when you play on stage, like how important is it to you to control the volume of your guitar?
How important?
Yeah.
Usually you want to be the most loud. I play now with much better guitar player. I would like to be quieter. I play with amazing guitar player, and I will be just his shadow.
I love that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we all want to sound good,
Yeah.
right? But we don't want to overpower the audience ear.
It's
And,
important teamwork.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Not moment of you or
Right.
song, everything together.
Yeah, it's very important. So volume is very important. That's why we have a sound engineer. That's why we have people that control that stuff, to make sure that it doesn't agitate people, and then make sure that the band members are happy with each other.
I love everything about that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like this venue here, like you don't exclude any music genre per se, right? Any musician, if they want to reach out to you, can reach out to you and talk about
yes.
playing here.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Can come and play here. All we're asking is to be respectful. Like, be understanding that this is an all age venue, and so we want to make sure, like, be mindful of other people as well too. Yeah. So but we're not discriminating against anybody, or come talk to me. Well, if you want to do something, we can work something out. Yeah.
I love it.
And then I guess the because we've been at this for almost an hour now.
Yeah.
So if you were to, here's a question I'd like to ask musicians on this program, because as we even talked about, being a musician is hard. What would you say to young people who are just starting in music so that they don't give up?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard not to give up.
Dario, what do you have, any suggestion?
Oh yeah. When I was, I will try to long story short, but when I was in refugee camp working with the kids, I was sitting and watching these kids that didn't have, like, that moment is no future, war is going on. And I was thinking what I can give them, to give them freedom, to give them possibility to be never hungry and this. And first things came to my mind, music, because music saved my life. Through military, everybody want to hear song, everybody become better. And I made music academy in refugee camp, and same like Saron. When I said idea, people say, oh, it's great, and people helped me, and we did music school, we record CD with kids. Now, 33 years after, kids still put on a Facebook, thanks for being our father. And even I was just like 4 or 5 years older. It's been thanks for being, like, people playing, they're making money, they're going to play weddings, they make more money than other. It's life skills plus music again is things that you're giving to community, you're giving to people, and people understand your emotions through the music. And that's what Saron do, I think, is just amazing. And especially this with helping, like, with the other culture. I didn't even think about this all the way, But, everybody bring, like, we have South African viola player.
Mhm.
He's Indian, but he is in Florida. He brings his, piece. And then another guy brings his piece. I put some Middle Eastern scale. We make beautiful picture. With Saron's, like, story that is amazing. I think music is very important, and I try to teach my kids and every other playing instrument is giving you, giving you something in life to count on.
Yeah. So, my suggestions to young musicians is that, follow your passion, and don't count on the money yet. Yeah. Just don't let money be your, what do you say? The goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't let money be the goal. Music should be how you feel. And if you love it enough and you're passionate enough, then do it. But don't think about, I'm going to make money. I'm going to make money out of it. No, it's not like that. Yeah. It's very hard. But if you do it with your heart, then you will make it. It doesn't matter how. Look at me. I'm 56 years old, right? It took me 50 something years to write song. Now I'm writing songs and I'm singing and I'm performing. So, yeah, just follow your heart and follow your passion, and don't think too much about money, right? Because that is a death trap if you do that.
And I can add one thing to this. I always teach my employees now and my kids too. Whatever you do in life, you do best or you don't do it. Once you do best, you build your network. People remember you as a good. And a lot of time now, people so busy, they just want to make this moment shine.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah.
If I go back after 20 years to some country, I still have friends there.
Yeah.
Just because I invest.
Exactly.
And that's what every step you do in your
Yeah.
life, you're investing and you're giving back,
Mhm.
If you're more fortunate, you share it, and that's it.
Yeah. So,
And last question, but definitely not least, where can people go to find information about the Mekong Bistro?
Mekong Bistro is located on how to
Go for it. Do it. Do it. Do it. No, straight up. Yes, please provide the address.
So Mekong Bistro is on Northeast 82nd and Siskiyou. We've been here for 14 years. You can always also find us online. Google it, Mekong Bistro, Portland, and then there's a website as well too. Mekong Bistro 2012, that's the year we started it.com. So,
gentlemen, thank you so much. And I'll end the podcast the way I always end the podcast, folks. Be kind. We all live on the same planet. We breathe the same air, and this world would be a little bit of a better place if we just treated everybody with a little kindness and respect.